Well, I've seen seasons come and go, watched these crops grow high and low, worked this land with these two hands, felt the earth crumble where I stand. Out here yonder, time moves slow, but my spirit's good and my heart is full. I've found a place where I belong, where a firm handshake still settles right from wrong. It's a simple life where an honest day's pay is an honest day's work. And you love your neighbor as yourself. Put God and family first. In the rolling hills of Tennessee.
Good Tuesday evening, TSC family.
Mississippi is where this old cowboy wants to be, dancing in that Georgia clay, drinking some good old
Man, not a lot happening. Not a lot happening here, is there? Upper level low here. Really creating a lot of wind shear in the Caribbean here. Here's the Gulf. Front of boundary right through there. Still see our low level spin right here off the coast of Florida here. See it right there. Just cannot get going though, y'all. Too much wind shear. Way too much wind shear there for a thing.
Sweet home Alabama, forever country.
That wind shear will not stick around though forever, guys. I mean, front of boundary there, yep, it's gonna be wind shear where that front of boundary is. That wind shear, that front of boundary eventually is gonna get kicked out. Will it be replaced by another one? Let's hope that's what continues to happen. Let's hope that's what continues to happen. If you look at the 925 millibar vorticity, you can see there's an elongated area of vorticity over Florida here. And at the tail end of that is where you'd find that spin. If you look at the lower convergence, though, guys, there's no lower convergence there at all. Hardly any lower convergence here at all. There's not any lower convergence hardly anywhere. I can't even find it anywhere. So if you don't have a lower convergence, you're not having a tropical system. You got to have 925 millibar vorticity. You must have lower convergence. That's the main two features that you must have in order to have a tropical system. And then divergence aloft is what allows the thing to grow and to breathe. Well, there is divergence over Florida, as you can see. Divergence right there, divergence back here. But divergence can also cause what? It can also cause thunderstorm activity. And again, if you do not have the vorticity and the lower convergence, I don't care how much divergence aloft can cause that thunderstorm activity. It's not going to help any. Here's the wind shear, though. Look at the wind shear in the Gulf, guys. It's screaming through here. There's no way anything can develop there. Look down here. Just absolutely screaming wind shear in this area right here. 25 to 30 knots of wind shear in that area right there. Right where that upper level low is located at. You look back here in the tropics. Wind shear here, wind shear down here. Out of curiosity, we're going to look at that in a minute. Is the Atlantic La Nina still down here? I've not looked at it lately. I have no idea if it is or not. But if it's still there, y'all, that's causing a lot of that could be the biggest culprit there is for development here in the Atlantic Basin. Is that Atlantic La Nina that was there here in the summer months? I have not looked at it lately to see if it's even there. We'll look at that here in a few minutes to see if that's still there. All right, National Hurricane Center 7 days out shows nothing. I agree with that 100%. Absolutely nothing. Again, there's the wind shear. The wind shear tendency is wind shear's dropping. Look all around. Look everywhere. The Caribbean, wind shear dropping. Back here in the Atlantic Basin, wind shear is dropping. So as we're getting to see wind shear starting to drop in the places where there is high wind shear, that's a sign that, well, things could start maybe getting popping in the Atlantic Basin, right? You can see the entire Atlantic Basin, wind shear is dropping in the Atlantic Basin. If you look at the 5 global models, Canadian Navy model shows development there near the Cape Verde Islands. Another development possibility on the GFS going out in the open Atlantic. Both of these will be going out in the open Atlantic. The rest of these models don't show anything for the next 7 days. Nothing, zero. If you look at the NCP Ensemble, now the NCP Ensemble was pretty high on the possibility of tropical development here in the Gulf, wasn't it? It was up to 90%. It's now down to 20 to 30% probability. It's really dropped down immensely, hasn't it? This is over the next 48 hours. Here's over the next 5 days. Do you see anything really of major concern? You don't. You see these waves here are moving generally toward the west. Probably is going to steer out in the open Atlantic, as you see this right here doing so. You might get something maybe popping out of the Caribbean going northward, maybe as a possibility. But that's a low-end probability there. And then 5 to 10 days out, here's what it looks like. Really, guys, do you see anything of really major factor there? You really don't. You really don't see anything really of a major factor here that's going to cause me to get out of my chair and start screaming and yelling. I don't see anything here. Here is weathernerds.org for the European model. Let me hit that updated plot now. Back here, you can see where this is going. Most of these are going where? Toward the open Atlantic. Now, we do have some modeling that's taking something maybe toward the Bahamas, or maybe even in the Caribbean, over the islands here. As you see, there's quite a bit of L's, as you can see, areas of low pressure that's moving in that general direction. We do have one low pressure system that's moving over the Yucatan Peninsula and getting over in the Bay of Campeche area. But you look for a clustering like that, or like this right here. You only got one ensemble around right there doing that. That's a nothing burger. Here is the GEFS ensembling for the same time. Now look at it. Now that's getting some more clustering over here in the Gulf, doesn't it? Now this is through 10 days. This is taking us through the next 10 days. If I go all the way out to 336 hours out and hit that updated plot, has to update here. Didn't really change too much, did it? So this down here is going to happen over the next 10 days, if anything were to happen. Okay, I'm going to exit. Again, that's weathernerds.org. I like to give them the props since they're the one that puts that out there. Okay. Here is the European ensembling. Let's just see what the European ensembling does and all the ensembles. Let's look at the... Well, dadgummit, hold on here. I'm trying to screen in there a little tighter. All right, there we go. Let me scoot this over here just a little bit like that. All right, now we got it up. I'll show you how I had that done. Again, they're in the Gulf, y'all. I don't think there's anything to worry about there. It just doesn't appear like there's nothing there that's of major consequences right now. Now, why do I have it at TS level 1? It's still because of this down in here. That's the reason why I have it at TS level 1. You see what's coming out of the Caribbean, maybe in the Gulf area. You see this right here. Now, this is a ways out. I get it. That's the reason it's a TS level 1, which means nothing to worry about, but we're going to leave one eye open just to watch this stuff. And that's why it's TS level 1. And that's as far out as the European model goes, y'all. That's all the way out to September 24th. We don't see anything. I mean, there is nothing to worry about, basically, for a win. Guys, all the way out to 10 days out, we have nothing to worry about 10 days out. Now, around the 19th, that's the 19th right there. Around the 19th, we may have something to talk about. But for the next 10 days, guys, there is absolutely no concern in the tropics. Unusual? It definitely is. For this time of year, not to have anything to worry about for the next 10 days in the hype of the hurricane season, guys, that's highly unusual. Now, it does not mean that the National Hurricane Center won't put something out there. They'll probably put something out there from this system right here. But I'm just telling you, here in the continental U.S., we have nothing to worry about for the next 10 days. There is nothing, absolutely nothing to worry about here on the European ensembles. Go ahead on out. There may be some concern on out there. You can see that what's coming out of the Caribbean, over here in the Bay of Campeche area. Again, this is just right at that 10-day timeline, and just shortly thereafter is when we might see something of consequences there. Again, that's the European ensemble. Here is the European AIFS ensemble. I mean, look at that. We're out to September the 18th. Getting something out of the Caribbean right there, going into the Gulf. We see that right there. How many ensembles are there? There's two. Look at the cluster back here. That's what you look for. If we had all that cluster there over here, I'd be scared to death right now. But we don't have it. Now we're getting some action, though, coming through the Caribbean, toward the Bahamas. Now how many areas of low pressure we have over in this sector? We're getting a few more over here, aren't we? We got a cluster over here. Where does all that cluster there go? Probably goes out into the open Atlantic, it looks like. It looks like most of these are turning out into the open Atlantic, as you can see. So really, do you really see anything that frightens me there? As bad as that looks right there, y'all, and that looks like a pretty strong storm system, there's just a few ensembles there. There's not a big cluster of L's located in that same area. So I can't worry about that right there too much. And you shouldn't either. Okay, that's the European AIFS ensembles. Next up is going to be the GFS ensembles. Now we're getting a little bit of a clustering back here. You see, there's definitely area low pressure right back there. All right, let's put up this up here so we can see the greens. Oh, what happened there? There we go. Now we're September the 20th. Now we're starting to get areas of low pressure going out of the Caribbean toward the Gulf, as you can see. Anything major there, y'all, the GFS model has calmed down here a little bit on the ensembles. It has. It's got something around the 19th to 20th timeline. That's 19th right there. But not a lot of ensembling there in the Gulf right now. Might we go through the entire month of September? We're out to September 25th. Do you see anything really of consequences of worry right here? Not really anything at all. I could have very easily put this at TS level 0, really for the next 15 days, and probably been okay. But I kept it up as 1 only because of what we're seeing right here, a little bit on the ensembles right here. Okay, next up is going to be the Canadian ensembles. Again, fairly quiet. Look at that. Now we're starting to get a little bit of activity maybe coming off out of the Caribbean in there in the Gulf. Again, that's September the 18th, 19th timeline. There you see it still keep coming out of there. Again, that's 19th. That's the 20th timeline, 21st timeline. So maybe by 18th, 19th, 20th, y'all, we might have something to look at. But my gosh, that's 10 days. There is nothing on the ensembles that has my worries for the next 10 days. Highly unusual? Yeah. We'll need to watch the Gulf over the next 10 days, Dane. James, I don't think so, man. There's not a lot really there. After 10 days, maybe. Maybe after 10 days, we might have something coming out of the Caribbean. Maybe. But really, during that 10 days, there's not much to look at. James, there really is not. Uh, that's Canadian ensembles. Here's the European global model. All right, let's watch this. Yeah, James, you're right. It has been showing something off and on, mainly almost all week. It has been for several days. But all of a sudden, like they've calmed down, haven't they? So you got to go with. I go with what the models do. Models change, I change. Very simple. Right now, I don't see anything to worry about. And again, if we don't get anything on these global models, I don't worry about it too much. Nothing at all shows up on this European global model at all. Nothing to worry about at all. Nothing. Here's the European AIFS global model. Does it give us anything to worry about? Well, it's got some things marching across the Atlantic, but look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. What are they doing? They're turning, aren't they? Maybe something there off the coast of Carolinas there, maybe toward Jacksonville area there, around September 23rd timeline. That's beyond 12. That's 12 days out. That's not 10 days. That's 12 days out. Dane, you might be hurricane free. You might be. You might be there in Texas and Louisiana. I wouldn't guarantee that, but you might be. Why do I say that? Because fronts. We're getting cold fronts now. And the more cold fronts we get, more likely Louisiana and Texas is going to be salvaged. Now, Florida, that's a different story. Up here in the Panhandle of Florida, that's a different story. Up the East Coast, that could be a different story. But the more likely is Texas and Louisiana. Boy, I hope I'm not jinxing y'all. I hope. But it's looking less likely right now, currently. If you look what the pattern we're in right now, it's looking less likely that Texas, Louisiana is going to get a storm. Now, watch something happen now. As sure as I say that, watch something happen. Okay? Now, let's go to the GFS model now. Now, it's been showing something as a possibility, hasn't it? Boy, do you see anything on the GFS model to worry about here? Gosh, dogs, it's so eerily quiet. It's almost scary. It's almost like, man, we know something bad is going to happen here. It's just so eerily quiet. We're out to September the 19th. Here's 10 days. Look at that GFS model. Absolutely nothing to worry about for 10 days. Look at that. Nothing. Nothing on the GFS model now. So Chad says, I think 2025 hurricane season is done. Where are you getting your forecast from there, Chad? Oh boy. Y'all, I cannot make that claim. I will not make that claim. We got almost half of the hurricane season to go. Now think about that. We have half of the hurricane season left to go. Again, this is the Canadian model, global model. Do you see anything? Don't see nothing, do we? Maybe something down there in the Caribbean, the area low pressure down there. might get going down here, maybe. Right, this is all the way out to September the 19th. This is as far out as the Canadian model goes. Guys, there's just nothing out there. There's nothing out here in the Caribbean or the Atlantic Basin that's going to affect the continental U.S. There's absolutely nothing out there for the next 10 days, and really, quite frankly, beyond 10 days. There's just no concerns. No worries, no concerns at all for the next 10 days. And really, beyond that. Chad says, gut feeling, my friend Tim. Boy, Chad, I hope you're right. I sincerely hope you're correct. I say this, bring on the winter snowstorms, right? You agree with that, Chad? Bring on the winter snowstorms? I don't know where you live at, though, honestly. You may say, oh, hell no. Not that. But I tell you what, I text a message to my family. We were there was about 12 of us on one chat little board of group chat, and that all of them are up in Indiana. And I just told them, I said, hey, y'all, look out this winter. I said, look out this winter. And it's like, what do you mean, Tim? And I said, I'm just telling you, look out this winter, because the long-range models are showing below average temperatures here in the Ohio Valley. Below average temperatures in the Ohio Valley and above average precipitation. What does that mean? That means it could be some gigantic snowstorms here in the Ohio Valley. That's what it means. And I was looking at those long-range models, and that is what they are calling for. Is below average temperatures and above average precipitation. That combination usually spells trouble and it may not be trouble if you're a snow removal person. God, look at that. McAfee just jumped up there. Told me to make sure I scan my computer for anything. So, it's, you guys, is hurricane season over? No, it's not. Not yet. Not till we get, in my mind, my own personal mind, I always look at it, when I get to November 1st, boy, things gets calm. Right? Things calm down after November the 1st. I know the hurricane season doesn't end until November 30th. But when I get to November, I know then that the likelihood of getting a storm is just likely, it becomes less. We all know that when we get to November the 1st, just get us to November the 1st, the likelihood of getting a bad storm diminishes immensely. You get to November the 1st, the likelihood of Texas, Louisiana getting a storm is diminished down to almost zero. It's almost down to zero at that point over there. It becomes more prevalent over here, and it comes down to almost nothing over here. Storms just can't get over there. The cold fronts pick them up and take them out open Atlantic or move them out in this direction. Even if it's in the Caribbean, they get yanked this direction in. They just don't happen. So it's looking less likely at this time. We may get to October without any threat at all to the continental U.S. in the whole month of September. Now think about that for a minute. We're going to go through the whole month of September without a incredible threat at all to the continental U.S. I'm not sure when the last time that happened. I don't know when it might have been. I'm not sure when it was. But man, hey, if we can get through this year without an incredible one place, just not a single place in the United States getting hit by a storm, could our insurance premiums maybe drop? Would that be a blessing? Is it possible that our insurance premiums drop? You think they probably won't? They probably won't. The insurance companies aren't going to let that happen. That's just the way it works. I'm sure we won't get a break in our insurance policies at all here in the Hurricane Alley area with our insurance policies. I'll guarantee you that won't happen. We won't get a break on that. It just won't happen. So even if we make it through it, I guarantee our insurance policies won't go down. Have you ever seen our insurance policy ever go down? I don't think so. Chad says, I think it was 1939. So I guess he looked it up maybe. Can you imagine that? Since 1939, the United States has not had a single storm, a prevalent storm, moving toward the U.S. Is that a landfalling storm? Is that what you're saying? Local media said that this happened in 1995 was the last time we had a season like this. It's been a while. I'm telling you, it's been a while. James says there is currently no record of a U.S. hurricane season occurring with 0 storms in September since the start of 1851 hurricane season. However, the Atlantic hurricane season has been unusually quiet in 25, with the last storm forming in late August. If this trend continues into September, it may be the farthest into September the Atlantic has gone without a named storm since 1992. Unusual season? Let's hope this unusual season doesn't bring us a late unusual season. You understand what I'm saying by that? Let's hope this unusual season doesn't bring us a very late unusual season. Meaning, I don't want to see a damn hurricane coming out of the Caribbean here and smacking me in the mouth here in Tampa again, like we did last year. That just may be what happens here for it's all said and done. Let's check out the La Nina, as James talked about there. Is La Nina over here present yet? Not really present there anymore. Matter of fact, it's gone away. La Nina has gone away here, as you can see. It's not present there. How about over there in the Pacific? What's happening over there now? That'd be Pacific West. East. There we go. And we're getting a fairly good La Nina present there, aren't we? La Nina is showing up like big time right there. La Nina is showing up big time right there. So we have La Nina there. I'd say we're full-fledged going on into La Nina right there right now. So here's the thing. It takes about 30 days for La Nina to take effect in the Atlantic Basin once it's there. So if you just count 30 days out, that'd be about October 9th, 10th timeline. Okay? So might the Atlantic Basin, the wind shear, relax about October 9th, 10th time frame? It might. And might that be the time frame when everything really gets crazy in the Atlantic Basin? It very well might, y'all. That's what I'm saying. We might get that late end of the year season that we don't want to see. And that's what I'm saying, guys. We might get that late end of the season that we don't want to see. Okay? So I'm weary of this right here. That worries me right there. Because I know what that does over in the Atlantic Basin. I know what it does. It relaxes the wind over here. And it takes about 30 days for this to take effect. That's what it takes. So, let's just say, looking at this right here, I think we got La Nina in place. And with La Nina in place, and we count 30 days out, somewhere around mid-October, we're going to have relaxing of the wind shear in the Atlantic Basin. That's what that would mean. And if you look at the waters in the Atlantic Basin, look how hot they are. The only cool place is where our hurricane came through here. Really upwelled the water there big time. You see the path it took. You can just see the path that thing took. Really cooled down the waters there, something fierce like. But the rest of the Atlantic Basin, look at the Caribbean. Look how hot the boiling hot the Gulf of Mexico is, or Gulf of America, or the Gulf, whichever you want to call it. I don't care what you call it. It's still the Gulf of whatever you want to call it. It's the Gulf. Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf, however you want to call it. I'm not going to offend nobody. I'll let you guys call it whatever you want. It's hot. We need a strong, powerful cold front, and we need about 2 of them to come down to cool these waters down. And until I see this going green and yellow over here instead of this whitish stuff right here, I want to see green and yellow over here along the shores of Texas, Louisiana. Until I see that, I know we still got problems here. Look at the Bay of Campeche. Look how hot it is right there. It's white. What is white? Look how white is all the way off the scale over here. Look at that. That is running almost 2 degrees Celsius above normal there in the Bay of Campeche. Danger there? Yeah, it's dangerous right there. Absolutely, it's dangerous. Guys, until we get the waters cooled off the Gulf, we're in danger at any time. We're in danger at any time as long as these waters are this hot. We need cold fronts. I'm begging for cold fronts, what I'm doing. I say, God, bring those cold fronts down. Let there be snow in the Ohio Valley, is what I'm saying right now. Bring me snow in the Ohio Valley. That'll make me happy. My brothers and sisters probably won't say that, but that'll make me happy. Bring me snow in the Ohio Valley. All right, y'all. I don't know what else I can give you right now. That's it for tonight. James, can you think of anything we've missed? Let's just see the trend here in the United States real quickly here as far as temperatures and stuff. What is the trend? Let's go to the European model for that. And let's just look at something. Let's look at the temperature anomaly. And let's see, is this cooler where air over? Is it going to stay there? Is it going to get replaced? Because when it gets replaced, could be about the time that we start seeing some really active weather in the tropics. When does it get replaced? Do we see anything in front here that shows signs are getting replaced here? Let's watch this. When do we get red and orange over here in Florida, for instance, and over here in the East Coast? Well, here we go. Oh boy, there we come. Look at the above average temperatures here around September 21st. Still cool down in Florida, but we don't see this, do we? We do not see that frontal boundaries and all that colder air in place on September 24th, do we? We don't see it. It's been replaced. So when we get this ridge of high pressure in place, with this heat dome here, what do you think that might mean? That means it's going to be a little bit much less wind shear here, guys. That means that frontal boundaries won't be existing. I'm telling you, watch after 10 days from now. Watch after 10 days from now. We might get active then. Check out the Tropical Hazards Outlook. Is there a new one that came out, James? Is it a fresh one? I've not looked at it today. Let's see what it shows here. Hopefully it pops in here soon. Yeah. It's kind of strange why it's taking so long. Don't know why that did that for. See, I'm still connected to the internet here, okay? James, looks like their website's down. Some crazy reason. I don't know why. I'm up and live. I don't have any disconnection problems here. So I don't know why that's doing that. I have no idea. I can't get it to come up. Are you on it right now? Because I can't get on there. Does it pop up there? Still not there. Nope. I can't get on there. It's not popping up. Website's down or something. Let's see. How can I get in there on the back side, back way? Can I backdoor it here some way or another? Still not coming up. He just posted in live. Why can't I get it? That doesn't make sense. Let's see if I can do it this way. Well, that makes no sense. Heck, I mean, weather bell pops. I mean, everything's popping up quick. I just can't get on the. It won't let me on there. Climate Prediction Center. Let's try that website. That's part of the website. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. It's just not it won't pop up. Let's see. Can I get? Let me go to NOAA site. Let me go to a NOAA site here. Let's see. How can I get to? Let me think this through for a second here. There's a Weather Prediction Center. It's not populating either. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Well, James posted it over here. James, that picture's down too. That picture you posted did not come out. All the rest of the pictures are there. But that picture there, not there. Their site's down. I don't have any reason why it's down, but it's down. The entire WPC site is down. I'm not. Oh, you can see, guys. I'm trying. Let me close that tab out and open the new tab up. Maybe. Let me close that tab out. Let's open a new tab up here, up. Let's see if it comes up that way. Maybe if I open it, close that tab out. Maybe that'll work. There we go. That's what happened. I don't know why that happened. Had to close the tab. I don't really see anything of crazy values here, honestly. It does have things down here in the Caribbean. Maybe September 24th to the 30th. About 20% probability of that. until I see red, bright red there, I don't get too concerned about it, even though there is a 20% chance down there. It says greater than a 20% chance. Actually, it would be, yeah, less than a 20% chance. But let's just say 20% chance. 20% chance down there. 20% chance back here. September 20th through the 30th timeline. Back here, September 17th through the 23rd, we're bright red. But that bright red's way back here. Notice we don't have any bright red over here. So y'all, until I see, like, look at it over in the Pacific. That is a real dark red. That's 60% probability. Until you see that, I don't get too concerned about this stuff. It just gives us a little bit of hotbed look, eyewash look of what the possibilities might lie. But again, James, let's not overblow this. We've seen, until we get something going, this is just a good idea of the what ifs. And what do we see that out? We've seen it on the ensembles, right? We've seen it on the ensembles. The ensemble showed us exactly what this is looking like here. We've seen that on the ensembles. So the ensembles are showing us the same stuff. It really does. The ensembles are giving us the same stuff. Doesn't mean those ensembles are correct though. All right, y'all. I don't know what else I can give you. Thinking. One thing that we've seen tonight is this. If we get that warmer air mass like this setting up on the eastern half of the United States, that means the fronts have stopped and we have no more cold fronts coming in. If this gets embedded like this, say mid-September, like it's showing right now, if mid-September looks like this, like the European model showing, let's see if the GFS model looks like this. Not quite the same. You still got some cooler air up here, but does it change? Well, look at the GFS model. It's keeping some colder air in place. It's keeping some frontal boundaries there in place. But look down in the south right there around September 23rd. Look at that. And look here. I mean, we're getting the presence of, if you want to call it the Indian summer, or however you want to call it, it looks like it appears. And if we get this warmer air mass in place, meaning less frontal boundaries, we may have a problem down in here then. We may have a problem. I want to see cold fronts coming in that's really going to cool down the waters here in the Gulf. That's what we're looking for. Don't see that right now. I don't see those things coming in place at all. We're getting cooler air, but guys, it's not cool enough to cool down the Gulf waters yet. That cooler air that you guys may be getting in Texas and places, it is not cold enough to cool down these waters there yet. It's not there. It's not evaded into the Gulf. We need that in place. I don't see a major cold front coming down like that right now. I don't see it there in place. And where's it at? It's anywhere to be found. Look at the northern hemisphere. Look where it's at. It's still whipping. Look at Canada. Look at Canada on September 23rd. Way above average up here in Canada. So if Canada looks like that way up here in Canada, what do you think we're going to have problems down here will look like? No cold front's going to come. September 23rd, we may have a problem down here in the tropics. Mid-September, look out. Mid-September. All right, guys, I'm out. Have a great evening. God bless you all. Have a good night's sleep, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning right around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right around 9 a.m. Eastern. Until then, have a good night, everyone.